Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you had an awesome Christmas and an awesome New Year. Can you guess what Santa, aka Tiffany, got me for Christmas? Hey, everybody, I'm Michael.
And I'm Tiffany.
And welcome back to our channel, The Villages Experience, and our very first video of 2024.
Yay! Today we're going to talk a little bit about recapping 2023 and all the craziness and happiness that happened in 2023.
Yep.
And just talk about what maybe to expect for 2024. What are our goals? What are we going to do this year?
So before we recap 2023, just want to say, sorry we took 2 weeks off from editing and posting videos. We were putting out about 2 or 3 per week. But when our only son, Nolan, came to visit us for the holidays, well, family first, family always. And we did videotape a lot of that stuff. But I just didn't want to spend that time, that precious time that we had with him and with Tiffany's parents to be in front of a computer and editing all this video. So thank you to everybody that wished us Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all your comments. So we'll get back to posting videos on a regular basis, at least 1 or 2 per week going forward. So Nolan spent 2 whole weeks with us, minus 1 day. And in our last video that we posted, you saw me go pick him up at Brownwood Paddock Square, where he took the shuttle from the Orlando airport all the way there. So that's really, really awesome if you got family and friends coming to visit you. And right on cue, at 12:14, there is the shuttle bus from the Orlando airport. And then the next day, what happened?
My parents arrived, so they rented a house in the village of Richmond for the week so we could all experience the villages over the holidays.
So Nolan slept in the guest bedroom, and we'll show you that at some point where we've made it kind of into a Tiffany's office where we have a pull-out sofa bed, and you know he's young, he's only 25, so he did really well in there. But yeah, Tiffany's parents went and got the house in Richmond, and then did we go out to dinner that night? What did we do that first night?
So we headed over. We wanted them to see the villages like experience, right? First day.
Yep.
So we headed over to Lake Sumter Landing. And we took the Lake Sumter line scenic boat cruise with Santa Claus.
How fun is that?
It was fun.
Yeah, we got to ride with Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Yep.
And we went around the lake, and we just had perfect weather that day. We sang Christmas carols. But they only do it during the holidays, right?
Right, and it was a couple dollars extra, and you did have to reserve that ahead of time. But the regular Lake Sumter Line boat cruise goes every day. After our boat cruise, it was time for dinner. So we headed over to Lighthouse Point Bar and Grill in Lake Sumter Landing. And it was our first time there, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I was too. So the place was absolutely packed when
Yeah.
we walked in there. So all the seats, the regular seats, all the seats at the bar were completely full. So they said we'd probably have to wait 20 or 30 minutes, or they had outside seating, which we gladly took. And by then it was starting to get nightfall, and it got a little bit chilly, but it was actually really nice to be sitting right there on the water with the lighthouse up there above us. And the service and the food was pretty good, right?
Right. I thought the food, everybody cleaned their plates.
Yeah.
And the server was very good,
Oh,
very
yeah.
attentive, even for being outside. Sometimes you wonder, if they're coming in and out. So, but we were very pleased. Everybody was pleased with their meal.
Yeah, we had such a good time there that we actually took Nolan back for his last day on his last visit. We took him back there for lunch during the daytime. And again, another beautiful, beautiful day because they have lunch specials going on right now, right?
Right.
How much were the lunch specials?
Lunch specials are $6.99 from 11 to 2. It's also happy hour during that time, so that's always good to know.
Yeah, so we all had the fish and chips that day, but they had a smash burger and something else.
Like a salad and chowder.
Yeah, but for dinner, do you remember what we had for dinner?
I had some kind of fish. Mom and Nolan had the fish tacos.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And they said they were so good. So I can't remember what everybody had, but it was really good. And the other thing I liked about eating there was we got to wave at the boat cruises as they went by.
Yeah, so we saw Santa multiple times that night because we were right there on the edge of the dock. And so, yeah, so if you're ever in the Lake Sumter landing area, definitely highly recommend that you take the boat cruise for yourself or go to, what was it called again, Lighthouse?
Lighthouse Point Bar and Grill.
Yeah, for lunch or for dinner, and sit outside and wave at all the other people as they go by on their boat. So the next day was Christmas Eve. And I don't know about your family and what kind of traditions that you have, but we've got one that we've been celebrating in our family since before Tiffany and I got married almost 30 years ago. Back when we were just dating and Tiffany's parents used to live in Atlanta, we would drive to go meet them and we would go to a Japanese steakhouse restaurant, right?
Right.
So for the last 30 plus year, for every Christmas Eve, and then for a lot of our birthdays too, it doesn't matter where we're at in the world, we always find a Japanese steakhouse to go to.
Right. We have found them in many different cities. So they have them in almost every city.
30 years ago, we first started this tradition. We would go there and be half empty or not that many people there. But now I think a lot of people have that same idea. They don't want to cook on Christmas Eve. So what was the name of the Japanese steakhouse we went to this time?
So I did some research through Facebook and different discussion forums and asked people around. And they said the best Japanese steakhouse in this area was Sakura in Spanish Springs. There's actually 2 locations. They also have one in Colony Plaza, but it does not have the teppanyaki table or the hibachi tables. So I made reservations a long time ago.
Yeah, so if you want to do it next year for Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, or any special event, you definitely want to reach out way ahead of time. We booked ours, and then when we got there, even though we had reservations, we still had to wait probably a good 30 minutes because this place was packed, and they only have so many of the hibachi tables like Tiffany was talking about. So that's the number one factor for us. We got to have that table experience, and hopefully have a really good chef that has a lot of fun. And let me tell you, our chef, he was a lot of fun, and he made sure that we had a lot of fun as well too. And so that's just one of those things. And then they have the great fried rice. And then something that our family likes too is some Japanese steakhouses will do it, some will don't. But that's the noodles, right?
Noodles, yes.
Yeah, so if you haven't had the Japanese noodles on that grill, it's pretty awesome. So you definitely want to check that out. So yeah, we went, like Tiffany said, we went and looked at the reviews. And this one had, I think, 1,000, maybe even more than that, almost 5-star reviews. And so it definitely lived up to my expectations.
Not only did we have a good time, the whole restaurant was having a good time. It was loud. It was festive. Everyone was dressed. There was all sorts of Christmas hats and apparel going on. The bar was full. It was standing room only. So it was kind of one of the places, I think, for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, when we got there, it was packed, and when we left, it was packed. So we're going to go ahead and make our reservations for next year right now.
Right.
So one of our other family traditions for Christmas is to pick up a honey-baked ham on Christmas Eve. So Tiffany's not actually cooking a ham or a turkey on Christmas. Now, she always cooks us a really nice, big, huge turkey for Thanksgiving and all the fixings. But on Christmas, we try to keep it a little bit more low-key. And it's been 4 or 5 years since we've had a real kitchen to cook in, since we've been full-time RVers. And so we had to go out and buy all new kitchen gadgets and plates and pots and pans. So this was really Tiffany and our family's first time cooking in this kitchen.
I love the gas stove. The gas oven and I are still getting acquainted. We haven't decided if we like each other yet or not. But yeah, we had to go out. Like, I realized I didn't have a pan big enough to boil the potatoes in.
Right.
Because I make famous mashed potatoes, and no one was here to peel them, so that was awesome. So I have to make a lot since everybody loves them. And I let everybody pick one favorite side because I didn't want to do all of the dishes like on Thanksgiving. So everybody picked one favorite side,
Yep.
and that's what we made. And it was a lot of fun, just using my kitchen and getting used to it and figuring out where I want everything to go. And so, and everybody was here. I love the open concept because I could talk to everybody while I was in the kitchen,
Yep.
which is really nice. That's one thing that we really wanted when we were looking for a house. So really great day.
Yeah, so sorry I did not take a whole lot of video or pictures on Christmas Day because we were just enjoying that family time of being together. And it was really awesome, to be honest with you, just to have everybody home, to have Nolan home and just have that Christmas vibe and that family vibe of all those traditions that we used to have in our old house that we really haven't had for the last 4 or 5 years being full-time RVers. So sorry that we didn't take a whole lot of video for that day, but next Christmas I'll try to take more pictures and video for you.
Another thing is, if you are here on the holidays, because we're talking about what an awesome time we have with
Yep.
our family, with parents and our kids and kid. But if you're here and you don't have family close by, you're not heading back home, or if you're here by yourself on the holidays, there is still a lot to do. I saw one of the clubs was having a no one alone on Christmas party. Everyone was invited, so you could come up to the rec center and do that. So no one was alone on Christmas. Our village had a wine walk where there were like 15 different homes that had a little station set up in their garage, and you could walk around on Christmas Day and meet your neighbors and walk around. And so there's still a lot to do to be connected and feel connected at the holidays if you don't have family around.
And that's one of the big reasons why we moved to the villages, because we would be part of this awesome community. And so we are blessed that Tiffany's parents are both still alive. Both my parents have passed. Tiffany's an only child. I'm an only child. We have an only son. So we're a pretty small, tight-knit family. But we're hoping to get to meet a lot of you and other people as we go out and explore the villages in 2024 and beyond. That is definitely one of the reasons why we wanted to move here, was just that sense of community and neighbors looking after neighbors. And again, making sure no one is left alone during the holidays. So one of the other big advantages of getting a honey baked ham is all the leftovers, so you can make sandwiches while you're watching college football bowl games, right?
Right.
And we watched a lot of college football. Love college football. Matter of fact, my college, my team, they played in the Gator Bowl, and Noel and I, we thought about going and watching them play. But the last time that we went to the Gator Bowl, my team lost. So we did not go, and I'm glad to say, go Tigers. They actually pulled out the win this year, so that was awesome.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. And then the rest of the week, we just really spent quality time with our family, and it rained a lot that week, unfortunately. But in between the rain, we did go visit rec centers and did other things around the villages. But we really didn't take the camera or take many video during that time because we just want to enjoy that quality family time, except for the last night when Tiffany's parents were here before they went home.
So we went to Harvest in Brownwood Paddock Square, and it was very busy. So we did make reservations ahead of time. They have an online reservation system, but for parties of more than 4, you need to call to make your reservation. So Michael called them and got us an awesome reservation at around 5:45, which was good because online there were no reservations till like 9 o'clock at night. So it worked out really well for us. We like to eat earlier. And so we got there, and we loved the way the restaurant was laid out. Around the perimeter were like some regular tables and these really nice booths that we'd love to go back for like a date night.
Yeah, very intimate. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get 2, maybe 3 people in those booths. You definitely can't get 5 people in the booths, right?
Yeah. But in the center of the restaurant were all these round tables for the larger parties. And they had one for like a table of 5. They had a round table for like 7, 8, and 9 people. And so it worked out really well. There was a nice din, a nice noise level in the restaurant, where you didn't feel like everybody could hear every word you're saying, but you could still talk to the person across the table. So we loved that round table concept, especially after we'd done a few other dinners where it was like kind of a long rectangle table. And then the ambiance, it was, A, the noise level was good, and then B, it was beautiful.
Yeah. The lighting was great. All the decorations, the artwork was great. It was just a really, really good vibe. A great place to go to celebrate, something like Christmas or New Year's Eve or a birthday or anniversary. So maybe we'll go back for our anniversary, which is coming up here in a few months. So not only was the restaurant beautiful and the ambiance awesome, but the food was pretty spectacular too.
Yes.
So we started off with a charcuterie board for the entire table, and it was delicious.
Highly suggest.
And we also were really smart. We decided to split salads, right?
They ended up being very large.
Yeah, Nolan said he didn't want a salad. Tiffany and I split a wedge salad. There was enough that we actually gave him some of our wedge salad too. So hint, hint. So if you don't want to fill up on the appetizers and the salad, share a salad before you get to the entrees. And then before the entrees came out, they had some specialty cocktails that me and Nolan were the only ones that partake in that. And they had some really awesome Manhattans and old fashions. So really, really pretty good stuff there. So I'll put some of the video of the menu in there right now, so you can pause the video if you want to see everything that we had to eat and had to drink. And then speaking of eating, what do we have for our entrees?
I had a pasta dish with scallops, and it was decadent.
Yep.
It was very decadent. Nolan had something very unusual that we had never heard of before, and it was a sea bass Wellington. So of course we've had salmon Wellington and beef Wellington,
Yep.
but a sea bass Wellington. So that was very interesting. I think that was the special of the evening.
Yep.
And then what did you and Dad get?
So we got the bone-in pork chop and a couple of different sides, and everything was just really, really delicious. And we did take home some doggy bags. We had a lot of leftovers at the end of the night, which was good to eat the next day.
But their menu varies. Their menu changes because they're sort of like a farm to table, or they try to source local ingredients. And there is something for everybody on that menu.
So the last thing we did was took a final family photo, and we said goodnight to Tiffany's parents, and they left and went back home the next day. And then what do we do for the rest of the days after that?
Well, Nolan ended up leaving us in a couple days. He had a wedding over in Tampa that he went to over New Year's. So we were alone again to celebrate New Year's Eve together.
Yep, so our first New Year's Eve in the Villages, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things going on here for New Year's Eve, right?
A lot.
Yeah, and
you just have to pick one.
And we picked 2 places to go to, and then we got back the next day and looked at the paper and saw all the other activities. There's just too many things to choose from. So we decided, since our first New Year's Eve, we would go to Brownwood Paddock Square to celebrate there, right?
Yes, because one of the main reasons for me was the Hooligans were playing, which we really, really love.
Yeah, great band and just a great vibe, and so many people. That was the most packed we'd ever seen Brownwood Paddock Square. So the other cool thing about celebrating New Year's Eve here at the Villages is, especially with the Hooligans, we were celebrating New Year's Eve on London time, right?
Right.
So the band started playing at 5 o'clock, right? Mm-hmm. And they played till 9, but we did the countdown at 7 p.m., which was midnight London time.
Who's ready to have a great year in 2024? Come on. Let's all be super positive for 2024. Let's look out for our neighbors. Let's make some new friends. Let's spend lots of time with our family. What do you guys say, huh? All right. I'll drink to that. You guys ready? Are you guys ready? We're going to count it down together from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So after we did the countdown and everything, we hung around for another song or two, and then we decided, well, let's get back to our side of town where we live, and stopped over at Sawgrass Mill Grove.
And Sawgrass, the band was playing a lot of 80s hits, And they even said you could dress up in the 80s. There were definitely some people that were all in on their 80s gear, so that was a lot of fun to see.
We hung around and watched the band play a couple of songs, and then we just came on back to the house and had leftovers for dinner and celebrated New Year's Eve here in our new home.
That's right.
And something else that we have never ever done on New Year's Eve before.
Are you going to tell them this?
Well, I wasn't going to, but we might as well. We've never ever done this on New Year's Eve, but since we figured that we'd already done the countdown to midnight and we'd already celebrated, we watched a movie, and then I looked at my watch and it was like 11 o'clock, and we were already wiped out and exhausted. So what do?
Went to bed.
We went to bed, went to sleep before midnight. First time in my entire life that we went to sleep before midnight. But yeah, all these activities, the villages.
The villages make you tired.
Yeah.
There's so much to do.
So that's how we celebrated Christmas and New Year's Eve with our family, and now it's all about 2024. So Nolan came back home on New Year's Day. We got to enjoy him being around for a few more days, and then we sadly had to say goodbye, and it dropped him back off at Wildwood Hotel and Spa, where he caught the shuttle bus back to the Orlando airport, and he flew back to Washington, D.C. So he's only been gone now for about a day and a half. But we do have plans to see him in the spring. Can't wait to see you again, buddy.
So now let's talk about 2024. 2023 on the channel was a lot about us, visiting the villages and buying a house and moving in and all of those things. So 2024 is really going to be about us being village newbies.
Yep.
There is still a lot for us to learn and explore and experience, and we really want to share that with you.
One of the big goals of why we wanted to move to the villages was to be part of an active adult community. Not necessarily a retirement community. We want to be more active physically, mentally, spiritually, find a church to get involved with and stuff like that. So we're going to go out and explore the villages, and there's some activities Tiffany signed up that she's going to do by herself.
Yep.
There's some activities I'm going to go do by myself. There's some activities that we want to do together, and some we'll probably try once and never ever do again. But there's a lot of things that we're really excited about that we hope will be part of our normal routine, so to speak, as we go forward, right?
Right. So what are some of those things we should go out and try? Let us know if there's something that you do that's a lot of fun or something that we need to go try this year and share it with you. But going back to what Michael said about that active adult community, it really is more about that activity and just being healthy.
Yep.
And so we did make a goal.
Yep.
I'm starting to think the goal may have been a little lofty for the time period we had. And so our first kind of big activity that we're trying is next week.
Yep.
You want to tell them what it is?
So they have, it's called the Running of the Squares. So each of the town squares, Brownwood, Lake Sumter, and Spanish Springs, they have a 5K every year. And the very first one is where?
Lake Sumter.
Lake Sumter next Saturday. So we're going to do our first 5K. We haven't done a 5K in probably 20 years.
Yeah.
So we've been out walking every single day on the paths, the multimodal paths and stuff like that. And yesterday we did officially do 5K in our daily walk. So a lot of you have said hello to us out there in our walks and stuff like that. So that's pretty neat. A lot of you have asked us about Nolan too. So hello to everybody that's already stopped and said hi to us. Thank you. We're looking forward to meeting more of you out there in these activities. But yeah, next Saturday, rain or shine, we are going to go do our first official 5K at the villages. And I'm assuming down the road when they open up Eastport someday, they'll probably add a fourth 5K running the squares at some point in the future. So our goal for the first one is just to go do it. And then our goal for the rest of the year, hopefully by the time we get to that third 5K, is to not only finish, but to run the actual 5K and then to beat our time every single time.
And another one of our goals for this year is really, we've met a lot of you, like Michael said, and you say that you feel like you know us already. You even have met our son, right? And so our goal is really to get to know you better as well, and that goal of connection.
Yep.
And so really there's a couple ways we're going to start doing this and then just build it throughout the year. But one is, we'd love to connect with you on Facebook. So go find our Facebook page and make sure you follow it. We do try to post some things there that are a little more real time, a little more real. They may not be whole video worthy type thing. So we'd love to connect with you there. And then we also are sending out the the Villages Experience newsletter. So make sure that you sign up for our newsletter so you get all the latest news, and we can connect with you that way as well.
We also have an Instagram account. Tiffany's doing the Facebook. That's all Tiffany. She's all Facebook. I'll start maybe posting to Instagram if you're interested in that. We only have a couple of followers on Instagram right now. But yeah, just go check it out. We have our website. And so we're looking forward to building this community between us and you. So again, thank you to everybody who's watched any of our videos. And if this is the first time you've ever seen one of our videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss any of our videos. And then hit the thumbs up button, leave us a comment, and then share our videos with other awesome people that are interested in the Villages. So happy 2024. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. We're done. I am fried.